Right now you join me at Sonoma Raceway here just outside of San Francisco, and Hyundai has us looking at two new N vehicles. This is the Elantra N and the Kona N, and there are a lot of similarities between these two machines. Under the hood of each of them is a 2-liter turbocharged engine with 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque, and a couple choices for transmissions. You can either get a dual clutch transmission or a manual in the Elantra. It's only the dual clutch on the Kona, but the Elantra is available with a manual like what you have here. I'll go ahead and show you that. And one advantage of getting the dual clutch over this manual is that you get an added feature called overboost, which bumps your horsepower from 276 up to 286 temporarily for 20 seconds. That is not a feature that you get on the manual, but one nice thing about the manual version of the Elantra is that it doesn't have a sunroof, so this car weighs less, and if you're good at driving a manual, you should actually be able to hustle it around a track faster because of that reduced weight.
Howdy folks, this video was brought to you by Manscaped.com. Christmas came early this year. Why? Because I have the new Performance Package by Manscaped. Let's check it out. Manscaped created the first performance kit that has you covered from head to toe, literally. Your jingle balls will thank you. This is the new Lawnmower 4.0. It has skin-safe technology, an LED light, it's waterproof, and it's awesome. Here's a stocking stuffer for you, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray. This is a game changer. And this is the new Weed Whacker. It's for nose and hair, and I had no idea I needed it so badly. And for a limited time, you can get not one, but 2 free gifts. That's including the Shed Manscaped Travel Bag and the Manscaped Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs. Your loved ones will thank you this holiday season. Don't wait, go to manscaped.com and use the promo code FASTLANECAR to get 20% off plus free international shipping plus 2 free gifts.
Both of these vehicles also have an electronic limited slip differential that has been tuned especially for handling. And that is more or less where the similarities between these two end. They're obviously two very different vehicles. You've got a sedan and a small crossover. And let's take a walk around the Elantra N to start. So on the exterior of the car, you get, of course, special styling. And one of my favorite styling elements on this vehicle is the wing here at the back. It is a wing, it's not a lip spoiler. It's got space underneath it for air to pass through, and it matches the style of this vehicle really well. I went on the launch for this car when it initially came out, and this body design right here, these 3 lines that come together, is something that they were very proud of. But at that time, they hadn't revealed the Elantra N's styling, and that body line combined with these sportier elements on this Elantra N really play off of each other well. Those angular designs really go perfectly with the wing and its shape, as well as the taillights, and then working down to this diffuser here. And all of Hyundai's N vehicles, the Veloster N included, have that triangular styling element that gives you a little bit of a racing feel. I've also got a big set of exhaust pipes and some red accents that go pretty well with this performance blue paint color. You can see that along the side skirt here, and pretty cool N badge at the front. We've also got N branded brakes, and these are bigger on the Elantra. They're 14.2-inch brakes and a pretty interesting set of wheels. And then moving around the front, you get more red accents. Probably my least favorite thing about this car in terms of design is that front end. It's, well, I'll let you guys make your own judgments, but I wouldn't say it's the highlight. Now let's step on the interior of the car and check out a few more details. One of my favorite things about some of these Elantra N vehicles are the light up N logo in the seat here. That's actually illuminated, and that's got a really cool look to it. We've also got this blue stitching and a more fabric suede type insert in the center of the seats. And overall, this Elantra N's interior is noticeably nicer than the Veloster N. You've got similar inserts on the door and nicer materials all the way around. You've got blue accent lighting and a nice set of 10.25-inch screens. I'll go ahead and fire the car up and show you a little bit of what you get on these screens. Of course, they're both fully digital, so they're very configurable. And another configurable element on the car are these two N buttons. So you can put these in different modes that are customizable. So you can see N Standard and Custom 1. And if I hold down on this button, there it pulls up a menu where I can choose what I want these different steering wheel buttons to select. So I can tell it to select Custom 1 or Custom 2 or just be a drive mode selector. I can tell it to set lap times. So it's very configurable, as are the modes themselves. So if I just click over to one of the custom modes and hit settings, look at that. I can see how sporty do I want the throttle response, the steering, suspension, rev matching, the limited slip, stability control, exhaust sound. It's all configurable. And of course, 2 custom modes. There's your second one. So you can have multiple different driver profiles that give you a different driving feel depending on what conditions you're driving in. And that kind of focus on elements that have to do with the driving itself is what Hyundai is doing a really great job with. Also, a really sharp looking steering wheel, nice materials, a nice place for your hand to sit, a nice shifter right here. So the parts of the car that you're actually interacting with, touching, including these metal pedals, those are all really nice elements. There are some cheaper components, like, for example, things like this grab handle, kind of cheap plastic, not my favorite, but the majority of the interior that you interact with, again, is pretty decent. And let's see, if I open up the door, you might be able to hear a little exhaust. Yeah, that burble tune is very aggressive. It's all factory, and I'm surprised I can get away with that, but that's pretty cool. I love how much noise comes out of that. So an overall really cool car there. And then of course, a lot of similar elements with the Kona. One sad omission is the illuminated logo. You don't have that on this Kona, but you've still got these nice fabric inserts, still have the good blue stitching. Checking out the steering wheel, of course, you've still got your N buttons, and you've got grin shift, which that is your overboost function right there. And we'll fire this one up as well and take a look at its running gear and its screens. So it doesn't have that shared platform for the screens, which is actually fine by me because there's some dead space in between the screens on the Elantra that isn't my favorite thing to look at. So having these screens be separate, not such a bad thing. Now let's switch this over into one of the N modes, and you can maybe hear there the exhaust gets louder. So definitely a more muted exhaust than you get on the Elantra over there, and it makes sense. I mean, this is a crossover. It's not meant to be quite as aggressive, but still a lot more fun to listen to and fun to look at than the standard Kona. Of course, you've got body color matched fender flares and everything. Again, here is that triangular detail that's on all Hyundai N models. Similarly, large exhausts at the bottom here. So a good bit to differentiate it. And once again, the really big highlight here is 276 horsepower on both of these. That can be overboosted to 286 if you have the dual clutch transmission. Both front wheel drive, electronic limited slip differentials, 289 pound-feet of torque. So good numbers from these two, lots of chassis upgrades. One thing that I should point out before I wrap this video up on the Elantra is this hilarious brace back here. This is something that would definitely get in the way of you putting a long object in the car, but that's the kind of compromise that you would expect from a more performance-oriented car that I think is more entertaining than disappointing. Every time I open up the trunk and see that brace in the back there, I would get excited because it makes it feel just a little bit less plain and a little more interesting of a vehicle. So let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. We have a full video with driving impressions from our racing driver Paul Gerard coming very soon, so stay tuned to TFL Car and you'll get to see that video of him driving these around Sonoma Raceway. Let us know what you think down below once again, and we'll catch you in the next video.